Hello everyone, welcome to BrickVault. My name is David and you've already seen it in the thumbnail. It's UCCS time, UCCS standing for Ultimate Custom Collector Series, which is our designation for the biggest, most impressive and highest detailed custom creations that are possible to recreate in LEGO form for the average enthusiast. And we have no other than Fly in Space at work here, bringing us this masterpiece that I haven't seen being recreated in LEGO form to this level of accuracy before. This is the Acclamator-Class Assault Ship from Star Wars, the little brother of the Venator-Class Star Destroyer, and it's a big boy consisting of over 5,000 pieces that can be assembled with the help of PDF instructions that you can buy on our website www.brickvault.toys. Each purchase comes with a parts list as well that can be uploaded to Bricklink to acquire the parts. It's a very easy process, but if you're new to the world of custom mock building, we have a tutorial video on our website that guides you through the process step by step. So, right after watching this video, make sure to head on over to brickvault.toys or click the first link in the video description to browse our big catalog of custom creations. But let's not waste any more time, I gotta show you this incredible creation. The Acclamator is probably most well known from its appearance on Geonosis in episode 2 or in the Clone Wars series, where it acted as a primary form of troop and tank deployment onto the battlefield. It could carry up to 16,000 clone troopers, 80 gunships or dropships, 48 AT-TEs and 36 SPHAs, so this ship is no joke. This ship was built with the red markings and also in fully grey, and I'm happy to tell you that Fly in Space also made instructions for both versions. If you want to get this model for yourself, make sure you have enough space, because as you can see here, compared to this life-sized 501st Clone Trooper helmet, it is big. This beast is 73 centimeters long or 29 inches, 44 centimeters wide or 17 inches, and 23 centimeters tall on its stand or 9 inches. And yes, you heard correctly, this model of course includes a stand that can be inserted into the underside, but more on that later. Here are some of the other models by Fly in Space next to it. You can definitely see a build style. First, let's dive a little deeper into the techniques. You build the very sturdy core first, then you build the stand that you put the core on, and then you basically just add sub-assemblies to it until it's done. I'd say until half of the 1400 page instructions, almost everything you build gets flipped upside down when it gets attached to the mainframe. So what does that tell you? Yes, this model was designed to look good and accurate from all angles. The underside is as well thought out as the top, which I cannot express enough how impressive that is. You can see this build is fully constructed by laying the bricks on their sides to avoid studs showing. I get that sometimes studs are nice and can add to a build, especially when it's minifig scale, but for this smaller scale, in my opinion, going fully studless is the way to go. And if you've ever designed a mock yourself, you may know how difficult it is to get rid of almost all studs. Let me tell you, I looked everywhere on this model and I only counted 3 studs showing on the outside, at least on top. There are a couple more on the underside, but that's still only 19 studs showing in total. Keep in mind that almost all pieces in the LEGO inventory have studs on them, so using over 5,000 pieces and just showing 3 studs on top is like mind-blowing. This is taking LEGO building to the next level and to the limit of what's possible to build with bricks. While building, you basically feel like the Wuthana heavy engineering company who built these vessels in universe, and I'm almost certain that you could switch out the movie prop used in episode 2 with this build, and it would work seamlessly. I always love the use of panel pieces to minimize gaps on angled surfaces. Whoever at LEGO designed the panel pieces to have a 2-plate thick space when laying on their sides needs a raise. This truly revolutionized mock building. Of course, we have the correct amount of dark red markings here. The 2 outermost markings being cut off by the angled shape of the ship is also an accurate detail. Everything on this build screams professionalism, and this is now my favorite model that I own. You may know that I love brick build insignias, as I use those on my AT-OT as well, for example. So seeing this being done here as well really tickles my fancy. There are small bits and pieces that add a little extra detail to the surface and help create a sense of scale, since this ship is huge in universe and of course also has tiny imperfections and greebles on the surface. Speaking of greebles, if you're a Star Wars fan or generally a fan of sci-fi, then your heart will start racing when you see how many different shapes and details Fly in Space was able to build into the dark bluish-grey sides of the ship. This is less than a true stud wide space, and yet the designer went crazy with details. I especially like the look of the back. I could look at this for hours and still find new shapes and pieces. At this point, Fly in Space is just bragging with his skills, making it look so effortless how all these different shapes come together. While we're here, I also like the build for the engines, but what grabs my attention here the most is the smooth wall behind the engines. You don't even see this section from any reasonable angle, yet the cheese slopes line up perfectly. I also like this, I was tempted to say, simple bridge design compared to the rest of the build, but it's not even that simple. Especially the sloping towards the bridge is another instance of Fly in Space showing off, and I'm all here for it. Another detail to mention is the fact that the red middle section ever so slightly angles inwards. In a matter of fact, it also angles downwards, so this was a fun section to put together. Now we also have a couple of small functions to this build. The first one being the small dark red square that can be removed and underneath hides a carrying handle. This is super useful for carrying this behemoth around. I use one hand to grab the handle and the other hand holds it from underneath, but it's also possible to just hold it from the handle. It's really sturdy. I don't think it's physically possible for it to come off, so that's nice to know. Another big reason to use the handle is to remove the stand. It fits quite deep into the belly for optimal sturdiness. And why should you remove the stand, you're asking? Because Fly in Space didn't cut corners and included the landing skids that can be attached to the underside as well. You have one spot in the front that it clips to, and two holes in the back where you can insert them. And then it's actually possible to have it landed like it does in a couple of shots in episode 2. And the best thing about this is that you can even open up the side ramps like this for the best landing display possible. I can't stress this enough, this is such a cool attention to detail and works smoothly all the time. And the look of the model on its landing gear with the ramp open is just, so nice to look at. I wish I had our UCCS Venator by Martin Latta in my studio already, so I can compare the two. Because as a matter of fact, they actually scale perfectly to another. So I'll definitely be displaying both models next to each other once I have all those models in the studio. I will make a separate comparison video between the two and between other models as well. I always love seeing side by sides. So that's it for the Acclamator. I hope I showed you everything you wanted to see. I know I say this a lot, but this really doesn't look like Lego, yet it still is, and you still have the incredibly fun building experience, and the end product just speaks for itself. I'm just in awe of what our Lego designers are able to accomplish, so I don't get tired mentioning this again and again. And I am so happy to say that we have the instructions and parts lists available on our website for you as well, so you can experience this model and all the amazing techniques for yourself. The instructions are available on www.brickvault.toys. This model deserves all the attention it can get, so make sure to like, subscribe, comment and share this video around with your friends, and let me know what other creations you would like to see us make here at the studio. We have a big catalog of stuff that still needs to be made, and our designers' fingers are burning already because of all the heat they're building right now. So you definitely don't want to miss any of that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and supporting us, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.